Hello, everyone. This is our XCOM acquisition presentation coming from the Solution Squad. So, to begin, we just wanted to provide some background information as to what is happening with our company, XCOM. So, we are actually being acquired by a global communications company called Ensign International. Because we want to expand our services, we are unable to do that ourselves due to financial resources and our smaller staff. So Ensign will help us with these endeavors due to their larger staff numbers and their larger budgets. Each department will be affected by this acquisition, but we will be focusing on the accounting department today. So for the effects on the accounting department, we have that they must learn new skills, and this is mostly talking to about our new system used by Ensign that everyone will need to learn. Budget changes and larger projects, increased workload and responsibility, loss of the close-knit feeling due to expansion, going from a smaller staff to a larger staff, integrating with a larger financial system, so having a whole new budget in place, and more stressful situations due to unfamiliarity with the new company, with new coworkers, and with the new system.
So, what is our strategic plan for handling employee resistance? Well, first, let's talk about what resistance is. Resistance usually comes from a place of fear, and there are multiple ways to actually dispel fear. One is with clarity, understanding and seeing what's going on. Building trust helps dispel fear because you trust the process, you trust what's going on. Building teamwork dispels fear because you don't feel like you're alone. Manageability handles fear because you feel like you can handle whatever's coming. And having a sense of purpose dispels fear because it gives you something to hold on to. So we have plans for every single one of these things. Let's go through each of them really quick. First, to build clarity, we're going to say it out loud. This is hard, or your concerns are valid, are great ways to build clarity. We're not going to try to pretend that this isn't difficult. This is going to be very difficult for our department. Saying it out loud helps employees to feel heard, and that brings clarity. Next, we're going to share the news as soon as possible. We're not going to wait until it's upon us. We're going to share the news as soon as we get it. As soon as we learn more about how difficult this new software is, we're going to share that news as soon as possible so that we can start building trust. If we share honest news in a real way, there will be people that there will still be some unhappiness, but our honesty and transparency with sharing news will build trust. One way that we're actually going to continually build trust is we will, as part of sharing news, we will give a weekly email update to let people know what's going on so that nobody ever feels like they announced it once and now what? No, we're always going to feel like they're in the loop, and that builds trust, which dispels resistance. Next thing we're going to do is build a task force for training. This will be comprised of two teams coming together. We'll have some mentors from Ensign, the new company, coming in to help train our most respected employees here. The two of them will work together. That will dispel an us versus them mindset. That will help build teamwork. The other way that this will build teamwork is that by using our most respected accountants to train first, we are going to give those accountants the opportunity to help us build how we're training this. They're going to have feedback. They will help identify pain points. They will help identify realistic timelines so that as we prepare to train our employees on this, our employees are involved in the very training that they'll be receiving. That builds internal teamwork, not just between us and them, but between us and us. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to train smaller, not longer. Nobody likes going through an 8-hour slog of endless training. You barely remember 75% of what you did on a day like that because you're so tired and overwhelmed. The brain can only absorb so much at a time. So we're going to break it up into smaller, more simplified chunks, and that will create manageability, which reduces resistance. Finally, we're going to constantly reinforce why we're here. We're here because we are accountants. We're here because we care about the company. We're here because we like the work culture. And while we acknowledge that the work culture might change, it's not all going away. And that will help us keep our purpose. So, what are our next steps? Well, first, we're going to continue on a communication. We're going to continue to work with this communication plan. We're going to announce the acquisition and what it means for employees. We're going to provide key facts and a very clear timeline so that everybody sees this follows this and this follows that, so that there's a plan. Plans reduce a sense of uncertainty. We're also going to include, it might be a little scary for management, but we're going to include a live Q&A to allow employees to ask questions and feel heard. This is one of the most important parts of change management. You have to make sure your people feel heard. So, as far as our employee feedback plan, we're going to acknowledge their concerns very clearly. We'll gather feedback through surveys and through follow-up meetings after we have the all hands meeting and the live Q&A. And we will provide specific updates relevant just to our department so that employees will understand how all of these changes, and even all the changes that we're going to make to decrease resistance, will directly impact them. So, with all that, any questions?